Hello mates, today we have a very interesting topic for you guys. We're going to be discussing the 3 best deals available on the market with 100% down payments. We will also discuss the main difference between secondary and off-plan kind of purchases, and finalize, we're going to go over the 3 best developers that are offering those kind of promotions. Let's go. Realistically speaking, when you're purchasing something with 100% down payment here in Dubai, there are 2 types of properties you can go for. It's either something ready or something under construction, obviously. There are many differences between the two, with off-plan being more interesting in terms of value for a set of reasons. First of all, it comes down to the price that you're paying for the property. For example, on the secondary market, when you're purchasing real estate, there aren't any discounts provided as you're buying it directly from the owner, and there's a lot of other payments that would go for with the payment. Not only are you going to be paying the 4% DLD and the 2% commission, but you're also covering the 4% DLD the previous owner paid and however else he's going to and planning to make from the sale of that property. Meaning you could very comfortably paying 15 or even 20% extra from the actual property's worth and how it was sold initially a few years back. On the other hand though guys, we have off-plan, where with 100% down payment, when the property is under construction, developers can be offering anywhere up to 40% discount. All this value you're guaranteed to make back when you resell the property later on, including all the other price appreciation the property has down the line. Another very important feature to consider is the security of your investment. What I mean by this is, let me give you an example. When you're buying something ready and you're planning to rent it out, you're relying on tenants, you're relying on your agent and other outside factors which you can't really impact in order to generate cash flow. On the other hand, when it comes to buying something ready, you are getting the discount, after which you're going to appreciate it once you resell the property. Therefore, you're not only saving your money, but also saving your time, which, as we all know, is the most important currency in the world. Off to the projects themselves. Now, let me tell you about the 3 developers that do offer these kind of promotions with 100% down payments for their properties. Well, the first developer that comes to mind with those sort of promotions is, of course, binghatti. Binghatti is the developer that's fully vertically integrated and has been on the market for quite some time. It's in the top 10 in terms of sales value and known for 2 main features, which in my understanding are very important. First of all, it's the luxury style in their buildings, and second one, which is the reason I'm mentioning them at number 1, is the short completion dates. What I mean by this is a very simple concept. The longer the project is going to take to construct, the longer we're going to have to wait until we resell it. Because the best time to resell it is, of course, once it's ready for an end user to be able to move in. Hence, the longer it's going to take, the longer we're going to have to wait to resell it, and the longer we're going to have to wait in order to get returns from your investment. Therefore, a developer like binghatti, who's offering anywhere up to 25% discount for an upfront payment and a short completion date, is going to be a perfect option for you to deposit your funds now and then be able to resell the project within a year or 2 years during the construction because of the short completion dates. And that's the reason why I put them as the number 1 developer with those kind of projects. For example, it's generally speaking somewhere in Business Bay downtown, perhaps in a more strategic location like Marina, where you have a very established infrastructure and hence high demand for their projects. Inside the buildings themselves, what I specifically adore is the amenities binghatti puts inside. It's of course very high standard stuff like swimming pools, infinity edge views, gyms inside the building, inside and outside, saunas, habanas, various walkways, pathways, all being integrated into their residency, which really brings up the quality of living there, hence driving up demand and increasing the rental income from the property at the end of the day. On the second place, I decided to put Courtier House 1 and 2. Their strategic location being on Dubai Islands is perhaps the most interesting thing about them. Once again, Dubai Islands being the number 1 location in terms of waterfront living. Therefore, if I compare them to the Palm, where those kind of residences are 3 times as expensive, those projects have a lot of room to grow. Additionally, what I'd like to mention about the project themselves is they're standing right next to each other. They have a direct view towards the marina, hence driving up their demand. And what's very important, imtiaz has a very good discount, 17% with a full upfront payment. The full upfront giving you 12% and another 5% being offered until the 10th of April 2025. So if you're watching the video before that date and the project sounds interesting for you, go down into the comments. We have all of our contact details there. Send us a message and I'll personally reach out and forward you all the info. And I, because of my relationships with the developer, because of the success we've had so far, will be able to give you the best sort of conditions and apply those discounts for you, of course, as I do for all of my clients. The projects themselves come fully furnished with all the appliances being integrated into the residency, a very high quality finishing as well, which imtiaz is specifically known for, and what's also important, the outstanding amenities bringing up its competitive ability. What I mean by this is a swimming pool with an infinity edge that goes towards the view of the sunset and the marina, that goes through the entire building leading to the valet parking down below. We also have high quality gym inside the building with an outdoor area as well, an integrated sauna and hammam, and various other clubhouses throughout the building, once again bringing its epitome and outlining its luxury from other developers in the area. Last but not least, I decided to put Samana. This is the 8th biggest developer in the UAE in terms of sales value and is known for their resort style buildings offering swimming pools pretty much on every single residency, which is a very important feature as it's very rare here in Dubai. Additionally, why Samana specifically is an interesting addition to this video is because of the two features they have for their project. First of all, they can offer anywhere up to 25% discount for a full upfront payment, and as well, they have a promotion where you can get guaranteed ROI from your investment. For example, if you decide to pay full percent upfront, you are able to get 8% ROI stably during the construction from the money you have paid, which guarantees you similar sort of criteria as you would by purchasing something which is ready. Comparatively speaking, something which has already completed won't guarantee you 8% because it's quite a high rental income. Additionally, what's very important to consider is the fact that you're not relying on tenants or any other outside factors in order to receive these 8%. Samana themselves are an interesting developer because they don't have this close completion date. Generally speaking, their projects complete somewhere in 2028, but because of the guaranteed ROI, it's still a very interesting proposal for 100% down payment, depending on what sort of returns you would be looking for. Once again, thank you for watching the video on the end. My name is Max. See you next time. Bye bye.